We'll be taking you from the catwalk into the kitchen off-duty today. I'm Wendy Bounds. Welcome to the show. Fashion Week draws to a close tomorrow, and right now we're going to tell you about a brother and sister team who formed a handbag empire with two firm rules. Number one, no boyfriend dramas. And number two, in times of dispute, Dad gets the final word. Let's go behind the scenes right now with Rebecca and Yuri Minkoff.
From a grassroots startup to a respected brand in fashion, Rebecca Minkoff has now reached the reins of handbag glory. Rebecca started the business in 2001, and her brother Yuri joined 4 years later. The duo have developed 50,000 Twitter followers and 37,000 Facebook fans, with reports of Rebecca Minkoff sales reaching $35 million in 2011.
I started the company, in 2001.
Started you.
I started me. And that was when I had called my dad and said, I'm out of money. I'm gonna go be a waitress or a bartender. And he's like, call your brother right now. I won't help you out, but call your brother, he might. So that's when I called him.
She called me and she said, I have a very serious question to ask you. Should I work in an Italian restaurant or a Japanese restaurant? I said, are you out of your mind? Why? And she said, well, which has the better tips? I said, why? She said, I have no money. I can't do this on my own. I'm a one-woman show, and it's just too much going on. I said, but I thought you want to be a designer. Isn't that what you want to do? She's like, it's more than anything in my heart. It's all I can think about, eat, breathe, sleep, everything. And I said, okay, then let's open a company. We don't have any outside investors. We had to be pragmatic. Every dollar counted. I remember a time when I had maxed out my credit cards, gotten a home credit line from the bank, used that. I remember my wife went one day to go shopping and said, why is the Amex not working? I said, well, there's a story behind that. I kind of used it for the company, but I got a good handbag for you.
Generally my inspiration comes from, I love to travel, and I love vintage, and I kind of call it a Frankenstein effect because I might see a belt buckle and that translates, to a buckle on a bag, or a pin that becomes, an embellishment on a bag. I kind of am always taking in visual elements and obviously translating them into something new. So this quilting idea actually came from a couch. It didn't have these pointy hard studs, but it had like the deep kind of almost like a pillow. Again, my inspiration usually comes from all kinds of random areas. We have a couple of pouches that people love. We always do really fun sayings that are of the time, show me the money, or can't buy me love. People love that.
Between the age of 20 and 30, which is our customer, there's a lot of important experiences, right, that a girl is going to go through during that period of time. So she's graduating college, first job, maybe second job, she's dating, getting engaged, getting married. So there's all these huge moments that have emotional meaning. We wanted to become the brand that as a girl's going through these key kind of large moments in her life, that we had product that related to those experiences so she could tie back to it.
And what's a top designer doing an hour before his big show? Well, speaking backstage with the Wall Street Journal's Christina Binkley, of course. Bags and shoes, Narciso Rodriguez gives our on-style columnist a sneak peek at what you'll be seeing next fall.
I'm here today with Narciso Rodriguez about 1 hour before his show starts for Fall 212. We were talking a little bit earlier, we were estimating how many shows you've done. We came up with, 75?
I would say roughly 75. It's a lot.
Does this one feel any different than the first?
I guess you get a little bit more seasoned, but you always have the same worries. Is the heel gonna break? Are you gonna miss the exit? Same old worries.
And this time you have an added complication. You're launching something new, correct?
Yes, this season we're launching bags and shoes, so we're very excited about that. The collection was designed with accessories in mind. I mean, we always design the total look, but this season it went a little bit more into detail.
So each bag or shoes is matched to the look of the dress, or?
Well, the idea was to take precious materials and apply them in new ways to quite traditional things you want to wear, a jacket, sort of inspired the beginning of the accessory collection.
I'm going to ask you for a little sneak peek here. So show us what you're talking about. Is there a pair of shoes here we can look at?
There's a bag right here.
Oh, bag, great.
Great color and ostrich, suede, leather, all mixed in a beautiful way.
And how about a pair of shoes, can we?
Sure. This is quite
Narcisso's
classic.
calling for-
What I think of as a quite classic T-strap, but a little bit more dynamic. 4 colors and.
So you're color blocking in the shoes, and I think you're color blocking in the collection as well.
Well, I think color blocking and splicing have become my flag. It's part of the house aesthetic, and this season we did it in very different ways, using textures and color. So you're going to see very, very different things bonded together, tweeds and silks, and yeah, I think it looks cool.
Can't wait to see it. One last question for you. You've got an hour before everybody starts pouring in. What are you going to do for the next hour?
I'll do interviews and rehearsal.
With
That's
the
it.
Rehearsal with models?
Yes,
That's it.
that's
We're
it.
done sewing. No more sewing.
More sewing. That ended today.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much, Narciso. It was great.
John Varvatos gives aspiring fashionistas tips on cutting it in the world of style, but the designer's advice can work for any professional who wants to catwalk to the top of a career.
John Varvatos has reached a new high in his storied fashion career. As the rock and roll inspired menswear designer, now has a new role mentoring up-and-coming designers on a new reality show, Fashion Star. He shares his advice for anyone just starting out.
You know, the biggest thing I say to everybody is be a sponge, suck up as much information, try to get your hands into as much as you possibly can. Don't be a prima donna about anything. Be entrepreneurial about the way you approach things. You know, I think when we look at our organization, we have so many great people that are jack of all trades. If you're going to be successful long term, be a jack of all trades. Try to learn. Don't be a master of none, but definitely be a jack of all trades. You know, and really try to understand where you can round yourself out.
Let's talk about your new show, Fashion Star. You'll be working with Jessica Simpson and Nicole Richie and really mentoring.
Elle McPherson.
And Elle McPherson will be
How could you-
hosting the show. That's right, but you'll be
Yeah.
the mentors, sort
Yeah.
of guiding these would-be, wannabe fashion designers along their way. Tell us a little bit about who was your mentor when you were coming up through the business? Did you have one or two people that either you looked up to or you actually worked with that inspired you?
I worked with two of the biggest and best designers ever on this planet, which is Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein. I was very lucky to work with those kind of people, and coming to Fashion Star, the reason I actually even did the show, because I'm not like a television celebrity type of thing, is that really, and I'm not that intrigued by that whole world, but I was really intrigued by the opportunity to do what I do in my own studio, which is work with young designers to help them grow.
But instead of Vogue, what if your inspiration came from the pages of Bon Appetit? Gail Monahan shares her secrets on getting your kids making creme brulee in the latest Cooking Confidential.
We did a lot of international travel when they were little, and they ate, everywhere in restaurants, and so they really liked food. Young children like to make cookies. You can start them off with cookies. It's a good thing to do. I mean, my two daughters, when I made scones for Felicimo, they did help me. They like to sprinkle the sugar on top of the scones. I mean, it may have been something that they got, part of an allowance for. I can't remember, but they love to put, who wouldn't like to play with sugar if you were a child? But they did like to do that. My younger daughter, one of the things I remember that she cooked is that she loved creme caramel, I guess because we made it. I made it for a dinner party and she loved it. There was never enough of it for her. So when she was about 10 or 11, she learned how to make it. And it's really pretty easy. I mean, you have to caramelize the mold, which is a little bit tricky, but she learned how to make it. And I swear to you, there was maybe a year where 2 or 3, 4 days a week after school, she would come home and make and eat an entire creme caramel. My older daughter used to cook meals for 20 friends, and she did it all herself. I mean, she made simple things like salad and grilled chicken, but now she's doing pop-up restaurants. Her passion really is turning out to be this food. If you want to get your child interested in cooking, I think the biggest thing is to be interested in food and good food and eating food. If you cook, it's a huge help. I mean, if they see the parents cooking in the kitchen a lot and making fabulous food, it's very likely the child will join in or at least find this interesting.
Tune in every Wednesday for Gail Monahan's cooking tips and secrets. Well, if you skipped the sappy Valentine's Day stuff yesterday and you had friends over instead, did you know the proper protocol for filling their wine glass? How low should you let the glass get before you give them a refill? Should you reach across the table or should you get up? We spoke to Michael Dorff at City Winery to get the lowdown. Here's what he had to say. Best way to pour wine for your dinner guests? Not like that. To hone our skills, we tracked down Michael Dorff. He's owner of City Winery in New York. 100,000 bottles at his joint? Ha, he should know. Number 1, the first fill. How high?
Depends on how many people you have. If it's 10 people and you want to distribute as much wine as you can, just start with a couple ounces of wine. That amount.
That's it. Number 2, the dreaded drip. Avoid it with a last-minute bottle twist.
You just pour and then you turn. Well, you pour heavy.
Oh, it's easier said than done. Number 3, the second fill. Just don't wait until your guest's glass is empty.
I am pretty quick on refills. I let everyone have a couple sips, and you can start to gauge who's drinking a little more, who sips more, who's thirstier, who's more of a lush.
And number 4, know your audience.
Skip people who are not drinking. You know, the person who's pretending to drink, but they're pregnant and they're just doing a little sip.
Right.
So then you can hopefully skip them altogether. You just do the fake pour into their glass too.
Pour.
Yeah.
And finally, should you get up or just reach across the table?
That's for restaurants only. When you're hosting and you're at, a home or somewhere, reaching is good. Reaching makes it feel like it's a real family affair.
For the Wall Street Journal, I'm Wendy Bounds, tracking down the best way to live your off-duty life. That's it for today's WSJ Off Duty. I hope you will click above to subscribe. Don't forget our comments box below. I hope you'll hit like. I'm Wendy Bounds. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Please join me, and I will see you tomorrow.